Hi students, last sessions we were talking about regular expressions, what is the definition of regular expression, how do I write regular expression, and we had also observed many of the examples there. So today we just have a look on how do I convert regular expressions to a finite automata. It's pretty much important to know this because finite automata and regular expressions are interrelated. You know that because regular expression is an algebraic way of representing a regular language. Finite automata accepts regular language, so obviously they are related. We need to know how do I convert a regular expression to a finite automata. So let's have a definition or the conversion steps. Then we go for an example in the next session. So formal definition of regular expression, you know already. We just define it as two things. One is basis part and another is the induction part. In the basis part, we have defined just symbols. Induction part, we have gone the combination of those expressions. Keeping this in mind, we need to know how do I represent this basis part in the automata format as well as the induction part. The basis part, as we specified, there are three symbols: null, epsilon, and a. And you can easily see on the right hand side of the window that would say or that would show how do we represent null, how do we represent epsilon, and how do we represent a. So null, there are two states, and if there is no transition between these two, we represent it using null. Anyhow, that is again need not to represent also. Whenever there is no transition edge, let us assume there is no transition at all. Similarly, if you have a transition from one state to another state, if you represent using epsilon, we just specify the symbol as epsilon. That means there is a transition from one state to another state, but without any input symbol. As we know, epsilon represents zero input symbol. Next thing is on the symbol A. Symbol A is just a symbolic there. It might be A, B, 0, 1, 2, anything as such. So if there is any transition, you just write a states 0 to 0 and 1 as we write it for DFA or NFA. We just represent it as A. And this is pretty much clear. This is not pretty difficult for you to understand. All these three transitions are very easy. But moving on, I need to talk something about induction part of definition of regular expression, where when I say induction part, we know we have defined two regular expressions, E and F. We need to know what language E accepts and what language F accepts, and how do I interpret it. Because when you talk about induction, we have discussed three symbols with respect to that. One is plus, then it is star, and it is dot. So we need to know how do we represent it. Anyhow, before moving on to that, we also represent something on parenthesis, where we use parenthesis to group the expressions. Whenever the expressions are lengthy, to ease of understanding or to understand quickly, we have just done it. Anyhow, moving on, let's discuss about induction part of regular expression in this discussion and wind up the session. See, the first operator is plus. Plus is a union operation, as we have understood. And you know, whenever I use plus, it is said to be or, either or. So when I talk about this regular expression, understand properly. Let E and F are the regular expression. So there, then correspondingly we have L of E, that is the language accepted by the regular expression E, and L of F, that is the language accepted by the regular expression F. Now, how do I represent that? That I represent it as L of E plus F, that is either E or F. Now, how do I represent? It is a union operation. So it is said to be L of E union L of F. So how do I represent? If it is a simple thing, suppose if you say L of E is A and L of F is B, then I could represent it as A plus B. That's how we just write the regular expression. Now, how do I represent the automata for that? Very simple it is. Say for example, if it is L of E or L of F, please observe it is OR operation. So we should accept either of it. Separate part of automata for F and separate part of automata for we write separate part of automata for E, that is L of E, this upper part, and separate part of automata for F, that is the lower part. Then we try to combine these. Then we try to combine these L of E with L of F. This becomes the initial state. Then L of E and L of F, we are combining it here at the final state. Observe properly. Here comes the usage of epsilon transitions. If not, there will be a difficulty to understand or to draw a DFA. If epsilon transitions were not there, we need to give some input symbol. Some input symbol again creates a problem. So epsilon transitions will be easy for us to deal with all these conversion techniques. I think it's clear where the upper part only will accept L of E, mean to say that those symbols, then lower part will accept L of F. It is pretty much easy to understand. Moving on, next symbol is dot. Dot is a regular expression which indicates as concatenation operator, that is L of E followed by L of F. So it should be always one after another. In that case, even here, please observe, it is L of E, I represent it like this. You can see here. Then L of F, we have represented like this. This is the DFA or EFA, we can see. But in order to combine these two, I have used an epsilon transition. We have used an initial state and the final state of before and after the combined thing. So you can easily say, and remember, while numbering the states, you number later, first you write down all these things. Clear? No. This part is fine if it is a concatenation operation. It's pretty much easy to remember. So it is E dot F. So you have separate automata or a part of automata for E, part of automata for F. So you try to combine using epsilon. Remember, when we are combining this or when we have symbols, I have represented it as for one symbol as a generalized thing. If you have two symbols, you may go for one more state. That's known to us. Since I'm accepting only E, I'm showing only E, I say it is from state 1 to 2. Or if I'm showing F, it is from 3 to 4. But if you want to say AB or A, then you have to go accordingly. 1 to 2 is A, 2 to 3 is B, and so on. The last symbol we have with respect to induction part of regular expression is star. We already know star indicates closure property. That means whenever I write a star as a subscript, whenever we write star as a superscript, that indicates 0 or more occurrences of that particular symbol. If I write A star, it says 0 or more occurrences of A. Now, how do I represent? Remember, the moment I say A star, as I said, it accepts 0 or more occurrences. That means it should accept epsilon. First mean to say one occurrence of the symbol, two occurrences, three occurrences, and so on. So the moment if I say it accepts epsilon, I need to have a transition from the initial state to final state. You can clearly observe there is a transition from 0 to 3. But if there is zero input symbol, that is indicated by epsilon, as we know. So there should be a transition from initial state to final state. So you can see the transition from 0 to 3, where 3 is the final state here. You can have an epsilon transition. Then suppose I need to accept one symbol. Then obviously here is a transition for the symbol E, where we say it is E star what we're representing it. Then we have just added or given a transitions of epsilon on the other side. Observe properly. Now we need to accept the next symbol. So what happens if you have traversed from 1 to 2 with the input symbol E, or for the regular expression E, suppose I need to accept one more symbol, I need to come back to the previous state. How do I come back? With the input symbol epsilon. So when I say it is 1 to 2 is E, then again you are coming back with the epsilon transitions, then we're moving forward. That means when you say it is A, you just say 1 to 2 is A, then you come back to accept second A, and you reach the state 2 with accepting second A. So how many ever A's you have, you can keep on accepting by moving, repeating this transition. This is all about the conversion procedure or conversion generalized procedure for converting from regular expressions to finite automata. Next session, we'll talk about the examples of it. Keep watching, subscribe to channel, share with your friends. Thank you.